So, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this webinar about bike parking. We have, well, a lot of great stuff to tell you about, so we just get started straight away. Let me start with a short story. So what you see here is a couple of my participants in the training that I organize each year, which is, well, mainly about bicycle infrastructure, networks, design. But throughout a full week of training, my participants, so you see them actually here coming from New Zealand, Europe, America, they will have a bike all day long, all week long. And in this week, we have a lot of field trips. So we ride our bike, we go to the station, we park our bike, and we head to some interesting places. Though we have a lot of discussions throughout the training, and some involve bicycle parking as well. This is, I have to admit, a bit of a topic that has been under-highlighted in our training, but I have to admit as well, when it comes to cycling, creating a cycling culture, promoting cycling I have to say the chain is as strong as the weakest link, and bicycle parking plays a crucial role there. So the main message here is if we have poor or no bicycle parking facilities, these could be reasons not to cycle or cycling more. So often we think a lot about protected bicycle lanes or pop-up lanes, a lot of safe design, that is relevant, but bicycle parking is as relevant as well. We are going to introduce briefly some methods, the 5C model, which are relevant. Yes, they are from the Netherlands, but these are transferable and apply to, well, each city, culture, and level of experience. So yeah, get seated. I will tell a bit more about this webinar, a bit more, of course, an introduction to the 5Cs for successful bicycle parking. And we will conclude the session with some information about further learning opportunities and plenty of room for discussions, questions, and answers. So if you have questions, please save them up for the final part of the webinar, and then we will address them. If you can't wait, or you're thinking, hey, I might forget this question, put them in the chat as well, so we can follow up step by step. So my name is tailor. I work with a company called DTV Consultants. One of the areas we focus on is cycling and road safety. A couple of things that we are proud of in the Netherlands. We were the company that helped out the CRO, which provides the national guidelines on street design, but also cycling infrastructure design. So we helped them out with the bike parking statistics or figures there. And we were the company that helped out to create the famous CRO bike design manual. Next to all this work, which makes us unique, is that we provide really great trainings. And this is, you will get a handout of the slides as well, so you can click on these links and read more about these trainings, but also the blog posts I was just flashing. And yeah, one of the things that we do, or that I'm really passionate about, is to teach you the key factors for safe and successful bicycle infrastructure with a really unique and, in the meantime, proven personal approach. What do we do, and what we are very common to do is in all these topics is we work together with a lot of experts in the field. In this case, in this webinar, we organized together with Tom Kooymans from the Dutch Bike Parking Academy. He will introduce himself in a bit. And both our organizations, we are a member of the Dutch Cycling Embassy, which is the one-stop shop for all Dutch cycling knowledge and expertise. So you might have been informed about this webinar through the channels of the Dutch Cycling Embassy. Hope this is all clear for you. I hope you are set to go. So without further ado, I would like to announce Tom Kooymans, who is going to introduce to some great bicycle parking insights. So, Ton, if you can take over the screen and well, tell your story, share your story with us.
Yes. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everybody. My name is Ton Kooymans, and I will introduce myself with some slides in the beginning, and then I will give you an insight of what we have plans to do with the Bike Parking Academy. This fantastic young guy in the middle is me, but it's unfortunately it's 35 years ago. I'm in the bike business for 35 years, and I designed the bicycle stand that you see in the middle. The most famous one in the Netherlands. It sold over 500,000. And as you can see below, it's on all Dutch train stations. I also did the lockers that you see. I did the design of the double layer racks and also of some shelters. With all this knowledge, I also started something in the bike sharing business. And I designed bike sharing systems. I designed bikes. And most of all, the most important, I designed it, I built it, I sold it, and I have a lot of practical experience. And that's what I decided to do. During the Corona, the Dutch Cycling Embassy received a lot of questions from all over the world, how to deal with cycling paths, with cycling, with bike parking, all these things. And in this time, I decided to build a bicycle bridge between the practical experience that I have and the people who want to learn how to do things in real, not behind the desk, but in real. So I told a lot of people about bike parking, and bike parking is two words. It's bike and it's parking. And the main thing is, if you say, I do bike plus parking, then you enter the world of human behavior. Because many people forget that it's not about the bikes and the bike parking, it's about human beings cycling. These people have to put their bikes on streets or in a building in a particular place. And that's what I want to teach you, how to deal with this aspect, because it's quite a mess. It's a lot of things that are taking part in the bike parking. It's bikes, it's public space, it's human beings, it's people who have to install it, it's people who have to repair it, to use it, and decision makers. They have to decide about the money and where to put things. What I want to do with my Bike Parking Academy, I want to untangle all these wires and create a structure where you can make decisions. And what we planned is to have 3 sessions to let you know about our experience with bike parking and how to transform this to your own city, your own company, your own country. We have several sessions in mind. The first one is all aspects of bike parking. And the second one is, if you have learned about this, is how to make rational choices on each and every aspect. That's what we call the 5C model. And finally, it would be great if we can use this knowledge to do some work on case studies and finally have a workshop. Now my slide doesn't work. Why does it not work? Okay, first, the bike. The question is, this is a stupid question I ask you. What's a bike? Is it a mountain bike? Is it a racing bike? Is it a city bike? So what's a bike? That's what we want to discuss. We want to discuss micromobility because we have also other products that we have to park. And these modern mobility products, they have different dimensions, they change, they have accessories. So the question, what's the bike? You see 3 bikes here, but in the Netherlands, and I don't want to talk only about the Netherlands, but in the Netherlands, on the left side, you see the bike that was in the Netherlands when I designed this popular bike parking stand, Tulip. 500,000 of these products are in the Netherlands, but they were designed for these kinds of bikes. But the bikes on the right side are the bikes we have now. E-bikes with baskets, fat tires. Some have front fork suspension. So bikes have changed. So parking also has to change. But here, the same question. I ask you very, very simple questions. What is parking? Is it organizing, putting just a few lines on the floor, and then put your bike over there? In some areas, people do this. In others, they don't. In others, bikes get stolen. So is bike parking maybe secure the bike? Luckily, in the Netherlands, we have everything organized, maybe too much. So when we said bike parking, we introduced something special. We said, okay, let's create a group of people, production companies of bike parking facilities, users of bikes, big companies, public transport companies, and let's make a team. And then we make some kind of a certificate in which we decide these are the right bike parking facilities for the bikes we use in the Netherlands. It's called fietsparkeur. And in the Netherlands, cities say, okay, if you want to buy a bike parking facility, we need to have the certificate fietsparkeur. But look at this. When I was walking, and when I am walking and cycling through my country, I see all kinds of fietsparkeur certificate bike parking facilities, but the bikes are not in there. Whoa. So I asked the university, what's the reason that people don't park the bikes over there? And we did a study. We made 500 pictures all over the Netherlands. And we said, okay, when we look at systems that grab the wheel, 68% is not in the system. When we grab the front fork, more than 70% is not in the system. When we grab the steering wheel, more than 70% is not in the system. When we grab the frame, even more than 80% is not in the system. The best ones are these leaning racks, but overall, only 69% of the bikes is not actually in the rack. What's the reason? The reason is the bikes don't fit. The tires are too fat, the front fork and the baggage racks, they make it impossible to put your bike in these kinds of racks. The wider steering wheels, the cables, people don't use the one that grabs the steering wheel. All these aspects will be part of the lesson because bikes have changed, also in your country. That's session number 1. In session number 2, we go into the deep. We say, okay, how can we make rational choices? How can we find out what is the right way to make choices? Because we have human behavior and we have decision makers, city planners, people who have the money, we have people who install. And don't forget, we talk about the users. They should be the most important. So we want to make a rational point of view so that the orange owl, the user, will be not upside down, but will be respected, and that we create something which is good for the user. So I created the 5C model. And the 5 C's, the first one is about capacity. How many bikes do you need to park? Here is in the Netherlands, we have thousands of bikes. But even if you have only 10 bikes, you need to know how many bikes you have, and you need to know what kind of bikes they are. Mountain bikes are different than city bikes or racing bikes or cargo bikes. So first thing is to find out these details and these numbers of capacity. Because then you know how much space do we have in our city and how much space do we need. Do we have to put the bikes just on the bike stands, or do we have to put them upright, or maybe high and low, or maybe, I hope you don't, 2 levels? So we talk about capacity. We will, in your lessons, you will receive information of parking bikes 1 level, like in the top here on the right, on the left, or when we have them double level, high, low, and how much can we put the wheels together? Because that means that the footprint of the system will be more or less, and also the comfort will be more or less. I will teach you about all kinds of systems. Systems, how to park the bike, how to grab the bike, how to secure the bike, and how these products can be installed. The next one is the comfort, the C of comfort, because it's very, 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 very important. What kind of users do you have, and where do you give them a parking facility? If you go to a shop, you want to park your bike, buy a sandwich, and go out, and you leave again. But if you park your bike in a train station, maybe the bike stays there for a day or a week. That's a different kind of parking. So you need different facilities and different comfort. If you park underground, okay, then you have to take the stairs or the elevator. It's a choice, but it's a very important choice. If you do the double layer racks, you have to put your bike on the second layer. This is a photo from even one of the systems I designed for the company Velopa in the Netherlands. These systems are sold thousands. But the bike on the top layer has changed, because this bike on the image might be 20 kilos, but the e-bike will be 30 kilos or even more. So access, not only for these systems, should be user-friendly. Enforcement, the C of control. Sometimes people park bikes where they should not park the bike. If you have an apartment, you might use the public bike parking facilities to park your bike all day. But it's meant for people who go to the shops. So how do you control this? And all these letters, the C's, are always looked at from different point of views. You have the control from the people who do the installation, who do the service and the repairs. But the user himself or herself wants to have control over the bike. Is the bike safe? Will it not be harmed? Then the product. When people ask me, what product shall we use? And the first question is often, what's the price? The price? The price for what? For a rack? Or the cost for the rack, including the installation? Digging holes, bringing things with big trucks to location, maybe even close the road for a day or a few days. Cost is not only the cost of buying, it's the cost of the whole lifetime. Transport, production, repair, everything. And the most important is actual use. I write a column in a Dutch magazine, and in this Dutch magazine, I said, somebody from a big Dutch city asked for 1,500 bike parking facilities. and the distance between the bikes was so small that bikes do not fit in. So why buy these systems? Because people will not use them. And they said, we need 1,500 bike positions. But that's something different than 1,500 solutions for parking a bike. Okay, based on these C's, the fifth C is choices. You can give every aspect of this C model a certain value, and then you can calculate and make sure that every aspect is part of your decision. Not to forget the C number 6 and 7, because very important is the communication to the people. So how will they use it? How can you make them use this? I will also in my lessons introduce something which is called nudging. It's like, how can you, in some kind of a game or fun, stimulate people to do what you like them to do, and not in the way they do it with advertisement, but in behavior. And the next C is circularity and sustainability. Everybody is talking about our environment, which is getting worse every day. Everybody's talking about people and planet and profit. So please make choices that fulfill these aspects. Make products that are sustainable. Make products which are functional, good quality, repairable, easy to install, and also easy to take away and to reuse the materials. All this, and I hope I'm still in time, all this knowledge in the third session, we will use this for some case studies or workshops, because it's really nice to really use this knowledge. This is an image of a group of people from Ireland. They visited the Netherlands, and we had a cycle tour. Everybody had fun. We had a cycle tour, and we showed all these aspects. They had to park their bikes, and they had to cycle on the cycling paths, and they had to really use the products. And they said, oh, now I know why you tell this, because my bike does not fit, or it's too heavy, I can't use it. Here you see the 5C model in a workshop that we did in Kosovo, in the city Pristina. We had a huge workshop, and here you see that you have to do it together with the people. If we can do our lessons and our workshop with you, you have to do the work. And together we have some fun, and we will have actually results that you can use. This is a school in the Netherlands, a new built school. They spend millions. And they said, okay, we have a very large area to park bikes. This area here, you see my cursor. They want 800 bikes in this area, but they drew in 600 with old racks. Racks in which now only 86% of the bikes is actually in the rack, but they reuse them because the bike racks were not part of the investment. It was just not part of the money that they planned. We said, okay, we can put more bikes in there because we have a different system. We put them high-low, and here you can see that these bikes, where the wheels are more into each other, we can put an extra line of bikes in this area. So we almost reached the 800 just because of using the right system, the right layout. And this is how it might look. Something else creative. We need bicycle shelters. Well, you could also use a glass house. And in the glass house, they did a test with several racks. Here you see the rack where the steering wheel should be put in. There's one bike in there. Here is none. And we said, okay, you have, they had 50 bikes in here. And we said we can do 75. because we make an extra line of bikes and we use the space more effectively. So this is it. This was my presentation, and it would be very nice to share this knowledge with you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Don. I think that's very useful and very insightful. So before we dig into the questions or discussions, as mentioned already, so this was only like a sneak preview on well, all that you can learn. So we have a training coming up consisting of 3 sessions. Yes, we would love to organize it over here or in your country. That's possible, but perhaps a good way to start with is we do it online, so we can reach out to you. I'm fully aware that's not always possible to travel. It's quite an investment, but doing it online really makes it accessible to you. And we really try to also translate the fun element, working together elements into a live, online and actionable experience. We have expert trainers, but also some guest lecturers that are also, well, completing the story firsthand from, for example, a city that is making the plans or the investments. And it really helps you out to start with bicycle parking. Well, the full program was already explained and highlighted, but over here it's summarized. This will be announced on our website, DTV capacity building, shortly. We will hand out certificates of participation to those that have actively participated and worked on some assignments. So it's really motivational and helps you also to, well, to increase your knowledge there. So keep an eye out on our website, dtvcapacitybuilding.com. We will also send you an email when this information is online, but we expect to organize it somewhere in May, to start in May, 3 sessions with a week or 2 in between, sessions of 2 to 3 hours. So this is what you can expect with our main and lead trainer, Tom. So this is where, well, Tom and I conclude, well, sending one way or talking. This is where we are going to open the floor for some discussions, answers, and questions.